All right, started the day looking at PL, the Platinum Futures, and you can see that it is kind of formed a bottom and possibly going up, but the MACD looks like it may be reaching a peak and heading down. So the yellow line here may be actually a support, not a support, a resistance level that we're heading to. And when it started to drop, it kind of broke the orange SMA line there, and I decided to go long, which I'm kind of questioning in hindsight here. Put in a stop and a limit order. The 1 minute chart here, the very small term chart, is the MACD is actually starting to behave itself a little bit and tip up possibly. So I may have actually guessed this one correctly, but I sure didn't see it, like I said, in hindsight. All right, it did get up there. Didn't quite reach the same peak as the last two little peaks we can see there, but not bad, not bad. I zoomed in, no, I zoomed out to the 5 minute chart, and you can definitely see that zigzag pattern that must have influenced me. I just didn't capture that screenshot. And on the 5 minute chart, the MACD looks very good about going up. So I have my limit order here at 976, and that is a conservative spot and will make me a considerable amount of money there. And as it goes up, I am raising up my stop to lock in some profits. Had a big red candle here, which is slightly concerning, but it continued up, and now it's kind of going back down again to the orange line, and I got stopped out. So actually made, I think, about $60 on that one, which was not very much. If I had gotten out at the peak there at 947, excuse me, 974, I would have made more like $150, I think. So, oh well, I mean, at least I made money, and that's the way I got to think about it. All right, meanwhile, I switched over to the MES, and we can definitely see that on the 1 hour chart here, it has plateaued and is starting to drop. So I got into a short position, zoomed way in here to the 1,000 tick chart, short position, and I think it'll probably get down to the 5740 range here, which is a fair piece down there. This is 1150, and very possibly it's going to take a little while to get there. Okay, you can see here the 5740 area there, and the yellow line that I drew is based on the blue SMA that I have there. So I think it's a reasonable place for it to go. And it's already dropped quite nicely. It's already dropped 20 points in the last 10 minutes or so, so that's a good amount of money. On the MES, for me, I'm doing 2 contracts, so each dollar is $10. So that means that I have made, oh goodness gracious, almost $200, I think. All right, and we can see it did reach down to the blue line here on the 30 minute chart, and I did raise up my limit order to not maybe quite expect quite so much. And I didn't bother lowering my stop order just because it was so downtrending. There was like no way it was going to go up. I wasn't too worried about it getting stopped out or having to lock in profits. I just wanted to try to ride it out as long as possible. Okay, and it kind of bottomed out here, and kind of headed up again. So I went ahead and got out and waited a little while, about 20 minutes, and it continued down through past the yellow line. So I figured, well, it broke support, so probably getting into another short, there's still some room for it to drop down to the next yellow line here, which I think it's very likely to hit. I don't know, being a little bit later in the day, it's possible it won't get down very far, but a little ways anyway. All right, and I put in an exit order and I put in a stop order. And I'm not expecting it to get all the way down to the yellow line, as you can see. It's just 57.40, just 20 points, so that's good. And it started to drop very nicely, very quickly. And when I zoomed into the 1 minute chart here and it headed up, I started to get a little bit worried and didn't know if it was going to break past that bottom that it formed, which was at 57.51. So I watched it one more time, and it bottomed out there and then maybe started to head up a little bit and worried me. I lost all that profit for the time being here, and I was worried that perhaps it was kind of done going down. So I waited, zoomed out to try to give me some sort of better perspective, and we can definitely see a green price candle forming there, which is not good. But the 45 I don't think is a bad spot. And it went down to that 57.51 one more time. And after that, I raised up my limit order, and I decided now I just need to get out. I was busy with other things, and I just wanted to get out. So I actually placed it and walked away from the phone, and I heard it ding, and I didn't get a screenshot of it, but I got out at a decent spot. It did continue to fall, as you can see. Over here on the left side of the screen, that was the low point. So it dropped through that quite a bit, down to 45, which is very, very close to where I thought it was going to go. And I could have written it out a little bit further, but I ended up making another 100 on that one. So I think I did well with trading today. I ended up with making $333.32 today. So I was pretty tickled.